It's Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, and we've got some major weather pattern changes coming up, so let's dive right into that. Our top story today is going to be a severe weather outbreak, potentially between North Dakota, portions of Canada, all the way down into New England. We got a big slight risk over here in the Northeast, putting 38 million people in the path of strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. The bullseye is going to be centered right on the I-95 corridor, the nation's busiest interstate, and this includes New York City, Newark, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and the Storm Prediction Center has put this entire area under a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 5 for severe weather. Main threat's going to be damaging winds and hail. Very, very small tornado threat today. All right, here's what the timing could look like. Storms are going to fire up between 2 and 4 p.m. and then track eastward across the major metro areas during the height of the afternoon. And they will be exiting off the East Coast anywhere between 8 and 10 p.m. It looks like Boston maybe the prime time for y'all is going to be between 8 and 10 p.m. New York City might be a little bit later, between maybe 10 and 11 p.m. But you can see that the storms are going to form up there in upstate New York, portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and of course up there between Ottawa and Montreal, south of Quebec. We are going to see some damaging winds associated with these storms as far north as into central Maine. And then the strongest storms today, I think, will probably be the ones that form on the southern side, especially right during the afternoon time period between 4 and 6 p.m. And those are going to slide down towards New York City once again and cause some problems today. So make sure you guys are prepared for this, as the storms are going to hit some major metropolitan areas right around the time that people are trying to get home on these major highways. So get ready for that. We are on standby mode today, not only because of that, but also because we're going to have some big time severe weather over here in North Dakota, maybe even down into Wisconsin and Minnesota. We have a 40 to 50% chance of going live today, so make sure you have notifications turned on for our channel. Here's that slight risk of severe weather for portions of North Dakota, including Dickinson, Bismarck, up there towards Grand Forks. This is actually a more potent severe weather threat. Even though it is just a slight risk, we've got a significant risk for damaging winds in here, where it's not out of the question that we see several places that get 70 to 85 mile per hour winds and maybe even golf ball size hail. Tornado threat, once again, is very low with this setup over here, but we are focused on a very focused mesoscale corridor here that could see hurricane force winds. Bismarck, you're included in that. Carrington, Devils Lake, Rugby, get ready. It's going to be an active afternoon of severe weather. Have multiple ways of getting severe weather alerts today. One of those could be the Y'allbot channel, which just got some major upgrades. I highly recommend you guys go watch that. Use it as the waiting room for my live stream, just in case we go live today, or even if we don't, Y'allbot's going to be there spitting out these warnings one after another. Now, on top of all that stuff happening up north, we also have some stuff to talk about down south today, where we have a major flash flood threat unfolding in two distinct parts of the country. One of those is going to be the Florida Peninsula, where we expect to see 3 to 4 inches of rain in a very short period of time today, thanks to a tropical disturbance that's actually trying to get going over here. It's not named, and it doesn't look like it's going to become named anytime soon, but it is going to dump a ton of rain over here, especially on the west coast over here between Naples up towards Tampa and even towards Cedar Key, where once again we could see a significant amount of rain in a short period of time. And this is a pretty populated area, so get ready for excessive rainfall and occasional flash flooding. It doesn't look like flash flooding is going to be a big deal down here because it doesn't really bother us that much in Florida, but there will be a couple places that see some flooding today. I'm more concerned about West Texas into southeastern portions of New Mexico, where the ground is super saturated thanks to all this rain that we've been getting here recently. We're going to have another one of those days where the moisture in the atmosphere is 2 standard deviations above average. That's just going to mean that any thunderstorm that forms is going to just wring out that Pacific moisture into these valleys and burn scars, and we are going to have life-threatening flash flooding once again from Albuquerque all the way down towards San Antonio, Odessa, Lubbock. Get ready for it. And then our focus is going to shift back up to the north tomorrow, where the WPC has another slight risk of excessive rainfall up here in North Dakota and Minnesota. So we're going to have our storms today. We're also going to have more rain and storms tomorrow. This is our July 4th holiday, right? So if you got outdoor plans up here, make sure you consult the weather forecast before you go out there. It is going to be a busy day for weather, at least up here in the northern portion of the country tomorrow. As you can see, the Storm Prediction Center also has highlighted an area from northern Kansas all the way up into Minnesota and Wisconsin and a little bit of the UP of Michigan for severe weather. It's a marginal risk. It's only a 1 out of 5, but it's something that we're watching, especially around Sioux Falls and Minneapolis. What I'm watching very closely is the dangerous combination for our holiday here, where in the Twin Cities, we're going to see oppressive heat and humidity during the day with a heat advisory in effect, and that's going to be followed by a strong line of storms with heavy heavy rain and lightning at night. So if you're out doing your barbecue, going out on the lake, whatever it is during the day, we're going to have heat indices exceeding 95, maybe even approaching 100 degrees. And then at night, whenever everybody wants to do fireworks, we're going to have lightning and all kinds of dangerous stuff like that. So I do think that your 4th of July plans are going to be a little bit altered here, especially around Minneapolis as we go into the day tomorrow. Now let's talk about the tropics a little bit. We had Hurricane Flossie yesterday reach Category 3 strength down here, and it's very quickly entered some cooler waters, and now it's just a tropical storm. It's going to continue to weaken as it goes off to the west. We've got another area to watch down here south and west of Mexico that we will keep an eye on, and then we also have a highlighted area from the National Hurricane Center for a 50% chance of some tropical formation over here over the next 7 days south and east of the southeast coast of the United States. So we're talking about south and east of Myrtle Beach, south and east of the Outer Banks. There could be some tropical formation happening over the next week or so. It doesn't look very likely, and nothing looks very organized right now, but we are watching this area. And the main thing that we're probably going to be looking out for is some residual effects in Florida and the southeast coast, where we see excessive moisture, maybe some daily afternoon thunderstorms and heavy rain. I'm not too concerned about this right now. If we take a look at the upper level air pattern, you can see no real sign of a hurricane or a tropical storm or anything forming over here over the next week. So that's good, but there is a slight possibility for it, so we're keeping an eye on it. Where I'm more concerned, or I guess impressed by our tropical setup, is down here in the Pacific. You can see we're going to have another likely strong hurricane forming down here as we go through July 8th. But once again, it doesn't look like it has any impact really on anyone. It's just going to be out there in the ocean putting on a show for us on satellite, which, by the way, is available in WeatherWise now. If you haven't noticed that, it's looking really good. That's right, for free. You can come over to WeatherWise and inspect the satellite now. We've got floaters, we've got the CONUS. You can look at the entire United States. The full disc of the northern hemisphere will be coming here soon, but yeah, lots of cool stuff happening over there on the WeatherWise app. So make sure you download it for free. And then let's go over here and take a look at our temperatures over the next week or so, because that's going to be our top story as we get past this severe weather today. Notice how we've got, pretty high temperatures kind of hanging out in the central and eastern United States, but we've had a little bit of a break in the west. But as I pull this forward, notice those dark reds and pinks are coming back to the desert southwest, especially in the valleys of California down towards Las Vegas and Phoenix. We are going to see widespread high temperatures getting out the wazoo once again as we go into next week. The bullseye for our next heat wave and this extreme heat is going to be in the desert southwest. We're talking about a moderate risk for excessive heat in this region, and the heat's going to begin building this weekend, and it's going to peak as we go into the midweek next week. And we're talking about temperatures above 110 degrees Fahrenheit in places like Phoenix, Las Vegas, and the California Central Valley. We could see highs over 115 degrees in some of these places, and we're not going to see much relief when the sun goes down. What I personally find most concerning about this next burst of heat is the longevity of it. This is not a one-day thing. This is going to go on for a very, very long time. So keep that in mind. And I'm not just talking about the desert southwest, where of course it's hot. I'm also talking about the central U.S. and honestly, the entire lower 48 area is going to be above average. Here's the latest CPC outlook for the entire month of July. It's just orange across the board. Okay, we're talking about significantly above average, potentially over there in the west, significantly above average in the northeast, and at least moderately above average for everybody else. So the reason for this dominant weather pattern is that big ridge that we've been seeing form constantly over the western U.S. that kind of propagates as it moves east over towards the eastern U.S. And this pattern is going to continue, and it's going to keep us above average for the foreseeable future. The impact of a month-long pattern like this is going to have some sort of stress on power grids. So keep that in mind. Increased water usage, and there's going to be a likelihood of heat waves throughout multiple regions throughout the month. So make sure you are ready for a hot and dry summer pattern that's going to continue through July, potentially even into the rest of the summer as well. And that also means we're going to have continued daily chances for severe thunderstorms. Wherever there's a cooler pocket of air that interacts with that heat, we are going to see damaging winds and hail and maybe even tornadoes. So make sure you have a NOAA weather radio. I'm being told that we we have those back in stock over on shopryanhall.com. So if you've ever wanted one and we've been out of stock, go get one now. I don't know how long they'll last. This is a life-saving device. If you don't have one, it's just like having a smoke detector or a carbon monoxide detector in your house. Of course you want one of those, right? So why not have a tornado detector? Why not have a flash flood detector? You can program it. If you live on a hill and you don't care about flash floods, you can turn that off, right? And it runs on batteries and power. So if your power goes out, it'll use the batteries, and it doesn't require internet. It doesn't require cell phone service. It runs off of an antenna, a signal from your local National Weather Service, and it's up most of the time, okay? So make sure you get one of these, and you won't regret it. This is something that could definitely save your life if you want to go to sleep during a potential severe weather situation and you want to be awoken whenever that warning is issued for your area. And then once again, I got to shout out Y'allbot. Okay, we've been working really hard on this. It's awesome. It's a very good resource if you want real-time information on weather stuff. Y'allbot can actually see the cameras that it's looking at now, so it's a little bit more informative. So make sure that you go over there to the Y'allbot 24/7 channel and check it out if you haven't in a while. It's a lot better than it used to be. And that's it. I'll see you guys maybe later today if we do a live stream. Make sure you have notifications turned on. Otherwise, I'll see you in a couple days. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Goodbye.